Hello, this is a short video on how to use the inverse, sine, cosine, and tangent functions. So this little -1 sign means that we're doing the inverse of it. So I'm going to explain it using angles, and I'm going to explain it first using degrees, because I think degrees we're a lot more comfortable with than understanding the values in radians. So if we're doing something normal, we're finding sine of some angle, and I'm going to use a 90-degree angle. If you were to plug that into your calculator and your calculator is set to degrees, you're going to get the value of 1. If we're taking the inverse of that angle, we're actually putting the value in, and it's going to give us the measure of the degree. So these formulas over here are taking this numeric calculation value and giving you the value of the measurement in degrees. Or, in our case, we want to find it in radians. So if I work in radians, instead of 90, the equivalent in radians is pi over 2, because if I want to convert, we'll do the conversion right over here, and I have my 90 degrees. To convert it into radians, I'm going to multiply it by pi over 180. Whoops, that's a degree, which turns into be pi over 2. So if I were to plug this into my calculator, now that it's set at radians, I'm going to get the value of 1. And if I plug this into my calculator using the inverse function, and now I'm putting the value in, I will get 1.57, which, if you do the math, is the same as pi over 2. So the inverse trigonometric function is finding the angle measurement value, starting with the mathematical value for it. So let me show you how to do that on your Alex calculator. So I have an Alex topic up here. Ignore the topic. I just found one that allowed me to use the calculator. The calculator is currently set in degrees, and so I'm going to go sine of 90 degrees is what numeric value? It's the value of 1. But if I click the inverse sign, now it's already in there for me, of 1, it's going to give me the value of 90 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to radians. And now the first one you had is cosine of -1 here. And, all right, not my favorite, so I'm just going to start over, I guess. Cosine, and the value we want is -1.22. Now we're going to have a problem here because cosine never gets above 1 or below -1. So this is going to give us an error. And sure enough, it is undefined because it doesn't exist. So let's go ahead and do the next one, which is the inverse sine of 0.42 degrees, or radians. And that's going to give you 0.433, which is the correct answer. And now do the same thing for the tangent. Whoops. Do the same thing for tangent. And this is -0.82, and that's going to give you -0.687 here. And those are correct values. So I hope that works out for you a little bit on how to solve the radicals, or excuse me, the inverses.